If you think you know a lot about GTA 5 and GTA Online, I've compiled 211 facts or 75 minutes of random information that the casual player won't know. If you want to test your knowledge, comment down below how many of these facts you knew, or if you just want to learn a bunch of random things, welcome, let's go. When you're driving on the highway or any main road really, if you flip your camera the wrong way and drive on the wrong side of the road, cars will stop spawning in front of your car. Because the game only actually loads in what you can see, so this is kind of a cool way to glitch the game out and get across the map faster if you need to. During the drive to the Polito score, Michael will mention his first heist. He'll talk about how it was on the outskirts of Casa City in 1988. This is a neat little Easter egg to Rockstar's game Manhunt that was set in Casa City.
Not me. Mikey, bro, what was your first bank score?
88, outskirts of Casa City. Took a small franchise for 10G. Yeah, things were easier back then.
When crossing the road, NPCs will actually start to run if the light turns red and they're still on the road.
What? Who is this? Slow down. I don't understand you.
At the start of the short trip mission, Fire It Up, with Franklin and Lamar of course, at the start of the mission, Franklin will say CJ's famous line from the start of GTA San Andreas.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
That's that LD Organics, nigga. That's that bomb.
Later on in that exact same mission, there's a chance Franklin can also give us another Easter egg back to San Andreas. When you're burning down one of the weed farms, Franklin will mention Flint County, and references the mission in San Andreas called Are You Going to San Fierro, where in that mission, CJ needs to burn down the Truth's weed farm.
Hey, this is like that shit that went down over in Flint County back in the day. Hey, don't get soft on me. Look for some more motherfucking fertilizer.
But that's not all, we also have another Easter egg in this mission. The time is frozen at 4:20 PM. Nice. Wind speed is more noticeable the higher you are off the ground, just like in real life. One of the coolest parts with the Cayo Perico heist update was the 10 hidden caches underwater. Now these change every single day, but did you know you can actually just sort of cheese this and find all 10 in one go, as long as you're in your Torador. So take out your Torador, put it underwater, and then all 10 are just gonna pop up on your map. GTA 5 actually has realistic light pollution. You can tell because when you look up in the night sky, stars are way more visible when you're out in the middle of nowhere as opposed to when you're in a polluted city. Your GTA Online character could quite literally be one of the children of the famous GTA characters that have come before us. In the character creator, you can choose your character's father to be Claude from GTA 3, John Marston from Red Dead Redemption, or Nico Bellic from GTA 4. If you kill someone with a thermal scope and you stay scoped on their body, you can actually see the heat slowly dissipate out of their body. In many apartments in GTA 5, if you go into your bathroom, you'll see your toothpaste there, but the toothpaste says CJ's toothpaste, another reference to San Andreas. We're gonna get an invisible trunk or tray for our rat loader. So if you have a rat loader, take it to an LS Customs, then go to trunk beds, and what you want to do is just scroll as fast as you can until it just goes invisible like this. But what you actually need to do is then buy the one that is the stock tray. You need to like time it, because if you leave it there for too long, it's going to revert back to the original one. It's kind of hard to explain. If you don't understand how it works in the video here, you'll definitely get it when you go and try and do it. You'll see what I mean. But basically scroll through as fast as you can, land it on the stock tray once it's invisible, and you've got an invisible trunk. In any two-car garage that you can buy, up on this shelf here, there'll be a license plate that says Liberty City. Unfortunately though, we can't get these license plates on our own cars, at least not yet. Things like nets and flags that blow in the wind will actually change and are interactable if your character's standing in the way. When you enter a car, the minimap will actually tilt slightly to give you a better view of the road in front of you, as opposed to just having a bird's eye view when you're on foot. In Franklin's second house in Vinewood Hills, there's 3 gold records on the wall. One of them belongs to OG Loke from GTA San Andreas. There's also a Mad Dog CD sitting on top of the DJ booth, and a red and blue colored artwork of Mad Dog with MAD written across the bottom. Also in Franklin's house in Vinewood Hills, on one of the bookshelves there's a book called The Liberty King with the face of Donald Love from GTA 3. Just like in real life, the front windshield of your car is actually a lot stronger and more bullet resistant than the side windows. If you shoot the rockets in Fort Zancudo, they'll ignite and start to take off. You may have seen this poster around the map for a movie called Sequel 2. This is actually continuing a running joke from the Bully game, where in Bully, there was a movie in that game called Sequel the Movie. Next is one of the more fun glitches in all of GTA Online in my opinion. For this one, you're going to want a cargo bob and a tank. Now what you want to do is of course pick up the tank with your cargo bob, then fly out to your Kasatka submarine. What you need to do is wedge the wing of the Kasatka here right between the tank and the actual cargo bob. It might be a bit difficult to do, but it's worth it, because if you can do it and then start flying up, the Kasatka is just going to go launching into the air. Now, if you get 2 people with a cargo bob and a tank and you go on both sides of the Kasatka and wedge yourself between both of the wings, it's very hard to do, but you can actually fly with the submarine. This is how you've seen some people in the community get like a Kasatka on top of the Maze Bank Tower, which is insanely difficult to do. But if you think you and a friend are good enough pilots to do it, hey, give it a go, because it is hilarious. If you just bought the hangar, there's a good chance you're getting the wrong cargo for your hangar. What a lot of players don't actually know is the type of cargo that you source is very important, because it actually has stacking bonuses. And all of them are on your screen now. So for tobacco and counterfeit goods, for every 5 crates you get, you'll get an extra 5%. For the next 3, for every 10 crates, you're going to get 12%. And then for the top 3, for every 25 crates you get, you'll get an extra 35%. So for example, if you got 50 crates of chemicals, you would get an extra 70% when you go and sell it. You're probably missing out on a lot of money, so from now on, make sure you're using this properly and don't lose any more money. When you shoot out the police lights on a police car, the police sirens will then actually produce a broken sound. You are probably searching for matches wrong in GTA Online. If you ever wonder why no one can join your lobbies, or you can't seem to get any randoms to help you out with things, it might be because your matchmaking is set to close. You actually need to change this, so go into your options, go online, go options, then change matchmaking to open. Now we'll just be floating in midair. This one's very strange. First thing, what you want to do is get in the back of a van. So you're going to need a van where you can open up the back and sit in it. So do that, then hop into your interaction menu and hover over the action called Crybaby. Then you want to hop out of the van, and just as you hop out, instantly press use action. And you're gonna end up looking like this. So random, people are gonna be so confused, and that's why we love glitches. If your car is completely broken, the lights inside the vehicle actually work. For example, the check engine light will turn on.
Let's go!
A lot of people complain that there isn't destruction in GTA 5, and this is something we're hoping to see more of in GTA 6. But there are certain points around the map where some destruction can be seen. One of which is out in sandy shores and in the mountainous areas. You can actually crush the small rocks on the side of the road. Deep underwater, you can find the famous hatch from the TV series Lost. Now, it's not actually possible to get close to the hatch because the water pressure will just kill you, but if you go near the hatch, you'll hear someone knocking on the other side. This is actually a message in Morse code that translates to, "Hey, you never call, how'd you fancy going bowling?" Which, of course, is a reference to Roman in GTA 4, who would always call Nico up asking to go bowling. The Los Santos Country Golf Club was established in 1992, which of course is a throwback to the year that GTA San Andreas was set in. In the mission, did somebody say yoga? One of the gold medals that you need to get in the mission is named Praise the Sun. This is a reference to Dark Souls, where Praise the Sun is a massive meme in the community, so pretty neat to see that reference there, not gonna lie. In a lot of the vehicles in the launch version of GTA 5, if you go into first person and have a look at the actual GPS in the car, that GPS shows a map of Liberty City. This could either be an Easter egg or just a reused asset from GTA 4 that Rockstar couldn't be bothered to update. One of the Weasel News broadcasts, the news reporter references a drug named Zombex, which is actually a reference to the game Dead Rising, where in that game there's a drug called Zombrex that cures people that are infected.
Drugs. The war on street drugs may have been won, but America is popping pills like it's still the 70s. Prescription painkillers like Dilutamol, Zombix, and Aladdin are more popular with junkies than sick people.
In Lester's house, there's a book called Surveillance on the bookshelf. On that book is a picture of CJ. There's a private taxi fare mission that you can complete as Franklin. At the end of that mission, there'll be a couple cars with interesting number plates. One of them says Nico B, and the other one says Roman B. References to Nico and Roman from GTA 4. Around the map, you can find wanted posters for Nico from GTA 4 that say in big bold font, "Wanted assault with a deadly weapon." There's a random robbery event in GTA 5 story mode where you can choose to save Brucey and Packy and run them away from the cops. Packy, who we mentioned before, is from GTA 4.
Good, kid! You're good, kid! Let's lose this heat!
I'm sure we've all bought masks down at Vespucci Beach, but one in particular, this white hockey mask, is an Easter egg in reference to Jason, of course from Friday the 13th. You can actually flip your car on different axes when you're in the air, so instead of just using the normal flip, if you just use L1 and R1, you can flip your car from side to side as well. Now I know a lot of PvP players definitely know about this one, but for the rest of us, you may have forgotten about the Amani Go Out of Sight option. This is going to activate a massive 500-meter circle on your map, and whenever you're inside that circle, no other players are going to be able to see you on the map. So definitely a good way to hide from griefers if you're struggling with that. One of the most frustrating contact missions in the entire game is on Parade. Mainly because you have to kill 1 or 2 Avengers depending on the difficulty you're doing it on. But there's an easy way to kill these Avengers really quickly without even shooting them. All you need to do is fly your jet really close to the water, like you see me do here. So we'll just look at the Avenger behind us. You can see he crashes into a rock or something. He's a bit dumb. But eventually, he will try and get down close to us on water level, and he'll just end up sinking in the drink. So if you're struggling with this one, just do that. The thruster is one of the most underrated vehicles in the entire game. The main reason is you just can't get killed with lock-on missiles from the back. As you can see in this footage here, as long as you're flying directly away from the target that's trying to lock onto you, for whatever reason, the missiles just aren't gonna blow you up. There's like a force field around you or something, I don't know. Another tip with the thruster is it's one of the few weaponized vehicles that you can actually fly while you're in passive mode, so use that as you will. Depending on how new the car is that you're driving, if you put the radio on and go in first person mode, the radio inside the car will actually display the correct name of the station you're listening to. You can lower your car window by going unarmed and emoting out of the window. Sometimes if you go into LS Customs but you don't buy or repair anything, the mechanic will actually be upset and a little bit rude even.
Did you need something or are you just being a dick? What can the best mechanic in LS do for you? Hey, I got other customers, you know.
When you're driving and you're on your phone, you can't adjust the headlights or honk your horn anymore because your hands are preoccupied. Helicopters create real lifelike air downforce when you're close to the ground and close to the ocean. Water from a fire truck will actually clean the floor of things like gasoline or anything else.
I don't need a checkup. Did he not put you up to this? Ufa, stop being a little bitch. What the fuck?
When selling your nightclub stock, Tony will always take a 10% cut, but that's not actually completely true. That caps out at $100,000, which means if you sell over $1 million of product from your nightclub, Tony is still only going to take $100K. So it's a lot more profitable to fill up your nightclub as high as you possibly can and sell it then. You're still only going to get one sale vehicle, so don't worry about that, but it's just going to save you a bit of money with Tony taking less money. When you're listening to Blaine County radio, as you get closer to Los Santos and further away from Blaine County, the radio will lose signal.
No. I heard that. No. Listeners, that is not true. As I was saying, 85% of these scientists are on the payroll of China, and they want to shut down our gas stations and shove electric cars down our throats. How are we going to get anywhere? What are we going to do?
Now we've got another rapid fire glitch, so this one's for the heavy sniper, and this works just like any other rapid fire glitch you've probably seen in GTA Online, just like the rocket launcher for example. All you want to do is shoot one bullet, then quickly swap to another weapon, and then swap back to the heavy sniper. You do that, then shoot. You can actually shoot the heavy sniper faster than you normally would be able to. And like I said, this is the same way you do it for other things like the RPG. So this is actually a pretty useful mechanic if you're trying to blow something up or take something out. Now we have another wall breach with the up and atomizer. It's funny how all of these just kind of work the same. When Rockstar introduced the up and atomizer, they really introduced a whole can of worms that I don't think they were expecting. But anyway, head over to here on the map, line yourself up against the wall of this building, launch yourself in with the up and atomizer, and you are in yet again another building. Now I'll show you how to get the minigun in your bunker shootout missions. So the first thing you want to do is go to one of your gun lockers somewhere in one of your properties and make a weapon loadout where you're hiding all of your weapons except for the Widowmaker, the minigun, and tear gas. Then go to your bunker shooting range and actually disable the custom weapon loadout in your interaction menu. Then go start one of the shootout challenges, shoot one bullet, shoot one target, and then go back into your interaction menu and equip the loadout. Then you're going to have the minigun. If you want to do it again, just again make sure that you disable the loadout before you go in and start up another challenge. If you ever wondered what your vehicle stats look like for your current vehicle, You don't actually need to take it to the LS Customs or the LS Car Meet. While you're in your garage, actually just press down on the D-pad and your stats are going to pop up. If your mechanic or interaction menu is on cooldown to call in your Oppressor Mark II, you can actually just start up an MC business and summon it next to you immediately a lot of the time. Just make sure you do disband your MC after that so that your MC businesses don't get raided. If you're in a CEO organization and you're on low health but you're out of snacks, if you stay near your CEO, you'll actually heal faster. Make sure you're making use of your weapon pickups in your businesses if you're a low level player. A lot of your businesses actually have weapons just lying around on the floor that you can go and pick up and get for free. There's also another Nico Easter egg in GTA 5 where many characters who are on computers are actually browsing Nico's Life Invader page. This page is active, which is likely showing that Nico is still alive. In the original versions of GTA 5 way back on PS3 and Xbox 360, if you went to the Lucky Plucker menu board and you zoom in on the actual stickers here on the menu board, you can see that there's some real life brands. Two of the more obvious ones are of course Sprite and Fanta. Now those obviously aren't supposed to be in the GTA world, so Rockstar actually removed them in the enhanced versions of the game. At the Yellow Jack Inn in Sandy Shores, here you can see 4 shields. The top 2 have the words Best of Show 2008 with a motorbike engraved. This is a reference to the year that GTA 4 came out and the expansion Lost and Damned. The middle shield says Best of Show 2010 with an engraving of a stagecoach wheel. This is a reference to Red Dead Redemption and its release year. Next to Franklin's original house in story mode, there's a massive mural on the wall that says Welcome back, we missed you last time. This is a reference to players who played San Andreas. When you're playing as Michael, this shirt is only available in Suburban. It's the Orange Grove shirt, but this is actually a really niche Easter egg, so get ready for this one. So the shirt is called Orange Grove. Now if you've ever played GTA San Andreas, you would know that the Grove Street Families is a name of the main gang. But if you go way back to the GTA San Andreas beta, apparently the name for the Grove Street Families was actually the Orange Grove Families. So this shirt is a nod way back to that. Occasionally, when you pull a civilian out of their car and steal it, they'll yell out, "I'm moving to Vice City." This could be seen as a throwback to GTA Vice City, or maybe an Easter egg to GTA 6. Who knows what Rockstar was thinking?
I'm moving to Vice City. I don't want to die!
If Trevor's listening to the radio in his own car, his Bodie, there's a chance to hear a conversation between a truck driver and another guy who goes by the name Eddie Lowe. Eddie Lowe was a serial killer that could be found in Alderney by Nico in GTA 4.
This is Eddie Lowe. I just damn near clipped that electric Indian.
Eddie Lowe?
That's me.
Ain't you a serial killer?
Yeah, very funny. So what if we had the same name? You think I'd be driving a truck all day if I was a serial killer?
I thought all you truckers were serial killers.
Screw you! What the hell you do for a living?
I'm a security guard.
Ha! A damn rent-a-cop. Go sit in the chair and watch the world go by.
Hey, don't be mad at me because you're a truck driver with a serial killer's name.
Occasionally, when Trevor runs over pedestrians in a vehicle, he'll shout out the voice line 10 points, which is of course a reference back to the original Grand Theft Auto where you would get 10 points for running over a civilian.
10 points!
One of the billboards in the game is for Organ Farm, and the logo of Organ Farm is actually a callback to Green Day's American Idiot, clearly taking inspiration from the design of the cover. In the mission Complications, one of the names of the challenges here is Can't Touch This, a rather small but pretty clear nod to the song by MC Hammer. On the side of a highway, there's actually a massive number of letters here. Each of these numbers corresponds to a letter of the alphabet, and if you decipher the code, it says all you had to do was follow the damn train, CJ. Of course, another reference back to Wrong Side of the Tracks from GTA San Andreas.
All we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ!
At the end of the Humane Labs raid, Karen Daniels, who is a returning character from GTA 4, in the cutscene she says she was required to trap and cajole criminals into helping her, but now she only has to offer them money. Spoilers for GTA 4 here, but she's referencing how she used to trap and cajole criminals. That's talking about in GTA 4 how she was pretending to be Nico's girlfriend, when really she was just watching him and working for the government.
When I ran agents in the field, I had to entrap them, cajole them, threaten them with deportation. You're never gonna know what I had to do.
You may wonder why a lot of PvP players are always playing in first person. One of the reasons is because when you're aiming down sights in first person and you strafe side to side, you actually strafe faster. So maybe give it a go. Pre-saving a scuba suit into your outfits is one of the easiest ways to save yourself from drowning in any mission. So make sure you go and do this, because I'm sure you've encountered a lot of times where you need to dive underwater and you don't have a rebreather or a scuba suit and then you just die from drowning. A lot of players still don't know this, but you can actually zoom in further when you're aiming down sights in third person. If you just right click the analog stick, it's going to zoom in additionally. I think the game only tells you this once at the very start, or it might not even mention it, so a lot of players still just don't know this. Using the drink pisswasser remote when you're starting a race will actually cause you to drive drunk. This isn't really much of a tip, more so just a way to have fun with friends if you want to do that. With any helicopter that has gunners in the back, like the Valkyrie for example, you can actually switch seats in the back of the helicopter without hopping out. All you need to do is press right or left on your D-pad and your character is just going to move across to the other gun. For any mission when you need to take out a moving vehicle, you're probably doing this wrong. If you aren't already, make sure you start using the compact EMP launcher. So instead of trying to drive around and take out the driver of any moving vehicle, you can actually just shoot it once with the EMP launcher, and the vehicle is going to come to a complete stop, making it a lot easier to either hijack the vehicle or take out the driver once the vehicle's standing still. One of the payphone hits has you pick up someone in a taxi. Now, we've spoken before about calling in your own taxi from Pegasus, and using this, it's a lot easier. But you might not actually know that you can also use your own Broadway or Eudora car that has a taxi livery on them as well. So you don't just need to use a taxi. If you have a taxi livery on one of your cars, you can just use that car as well. Makes it a lot quicker and easier to spawn in and get this mission done. Sort of a random tip here, not sure why you'd want to use this one, but if you ever want to sit in the back seat of your own car, you can't normally do that, but for whatever reason, if you set yourself up as a CEO and then hold triangle once you get to the back door, you can sit in the back seat. There you go, now you know. Now we're going to break in and breach the wall to the Lombank building. So this one's right next to Record A Studios. What you want to do is get a car, come and park it right up against this bush here. Then we're going to jump on top of the car so that we can sort of wedge ourselves in between the building and this hedge right here. Once you're fully wedged in here, get out your up and atomizer, look at this pillar right here, and use that to launch yourself backwards. Once your character tries to stand up, you should be inside the wall here, and you can just kind of run around and explore. It's kind of cool to explore the interior of buildings like this. I personally find it pretty fun, so I love stuff like this. And sticking with the theme of launching yourself with an up and atomizer, if you come over to this park right over here, there's a little baseball field. If you stand with your back facing towards the cage here and launch yourself into it with an up and atomizer, your character is going to completely bug out. Sometimes you're going to just die, which, I mean, I guess that's just kind of funny as well. But sometimes your character's just going to glitch out and just absolutely break the game. Let's say, for example, you need to go all the way to the top of the map and then come all the way back. It's something pretty common in GTA Online, but here's how you're going to speed up that process. Get yourself an Amani Tech car and install the remote control vehicle option. Now park that car at the bottom of the map. Then you want to fly up to the top of the map using whatever helicopter or jet you have. And when it's time to come back to the bottom of the map, go into your interaction menu and drive your remote control car. Now what you want to do is start a job and then exit the job before you start, and the game will teleport you to where your remote control car was. That's going to save you a lot of time. There was a somewhat minor character in Grand Theft Auto Vice City. His name is BJ Smith. He's referenced a couple of times here. First off, we have the Recreation Center named after him, as well as one of the convenience stores in East Vinewood, BJ's Market. On this wall next to the Union Depository, there's some graffiti on the wall that says Los Santos, but the font is the exact same that Rockstar used for the original Grand Theft Auto game, way back over 25 years ago. When you're playing as Franklin, you can get several different pieces of clothing that are from the Uptown Riders. This gang, of course, featured in the Lost and the Damned DLC for GTA 4, and some of the members even feature in GTA 5, most notably Malk, who's in GTA Online, and Johnny Klebitz, who was in GTA 5 single player. In the Yellow Jack Inn, there's a picture here of someone driving a tow truck. That person looks exactly like Nico Bellic. Actually, no, that's literally just Nico Bellic. Around the map, you'll find newspapers all over the ground. Many of these have pictures of Johnny Klebitz from Lost and the Damned in GTA 4, along with the headline Loves-Hate Relationship with Taxes. In the backrooms of the Vanilla Unicorn, there's a sticker on one of the lockers that says Honkers. This is an Easter egg to the Honkers Gentlemen Club in GTA 4. In GTA 5, we got Vanilla Unicorn. In GTA 4, it was Honkers. Michael's son Jimmy is pretty heavily addicted to Righteous Slaughter 7, which, based by the gameplay style, also by how the characters describe the game, is a pretty clear parody mocking Call of Duty. If you head back to North Yankton, where the prologue takes place, underneath the train bridge is a frozen creek. Inside the frozen creek is an alien. But that's just one of many alien Easter eggs in GTA 5 though. You may have heard of the Mount Chiliad mystery. Most of that comes from the mural at the top of the mountain. It's not just a normal map though. The map shows what is pretty clearly Mount Chiliad along with 8 boxes. The bottom 3 boxes show a UFO, a cracked egg, and someone with a jetpack. The other 5 boxes have an X inside. All of those X's mark the location of one of the 5 strange murals on the side of Mount Chiliad. On the very top of the mountain drawing is an overseeing eye, along with electricity or possibly lightning around the mountain. That eye on top of Mount Chiliad can actually be seen in person, but next to the eye it says come back when your story is complete, which means the player needs to come back to this location once they get 100% completion in GTA 5. Once the player gets 100% completion, they need to come back to the top of Mount Chiliad at 3 AM in-game, and it needs to be cloudy or raining. Only when those conditions are met, a UFO is gonna spawn. Upon closer inspection though, this UFO actually has an FIB logo on it, which is GTA's version of the FBI. Once you get 100% completion, 2 other UFOs can be seen, one of which is in Sandy Shores directly above a hippie camp with a bunch of alien murals and artwork, and the other one above Fort Zancudo, but this one looks a little bit different. In your arcade, you can play the game Cubed, which is actually a game that was introduced in GTA 4. Next to the Vinewood Sports LS store in Harwick, there's actually a billboard of Tony, a radio DJ from the 3D universe. Right next to that, on the billboard next to it, is an artwork of the famous GTA twins painted on this building. Just another one of GTA's famous poster girls. On certain weapons from Ammunition, you can buy the Yusuf Amir luxury finish. This is a reference to the character Yusuf Amir from the Ballad of Gay Tony. Michael enters his house. There's a chance he'll get the voice line where he says, "Daddy's back, bitches."
Daddy's back, bitches!
This is an Easter egg to the very first line from the beginning of GTA 4, where one of the characters yells out, "Daddy's back, you bitches." So they took out the "you", but the rest of it, clear reference.
Daddy's back, you bitches! Daddy's back, you bitches!
Dave, come on.
Come
on. Nico, what are you doing? Dave is not coming.
If you drive your favorite bike a lot, your motorbike, it's then going to become your favorite bike in the game, which means whenever you drive it, you automatically get health regen, and it can fill you up to full health without even using snacks. And yes, that does include the Oppressor Mark II. By now, we all know that the chicken statue out front of the Clockenbell Farms has a traffic cone on its head, but you might not have known that this is a reference to the equestrian statue of the Duke of Wellington in Glasgow, where it's become a tradition to place traffic cones on its head. One of the names you can choose for your nightclub in GTA Online is Maisonette. Of course, one of the main characters in the nightclub DLC was Tony, so this is an Easter egg to Tony Prince's nightclub in the Ballad of Gay Tony in GTA 4, which was called Maisonette 9. Laszlo, one of the side characters in GTA 5 and GTA Online, has actually been a DJ in radio stations from all GTA games. So no surprise to see Rockstar include him in GTA 5. Unfortunately though, he has now since left Rockstar Games, so we'll have to see if he appears in GTA 6. In the mission, Mr. Richards, Michael is tasked with going to return Rocco Pelosi, who's a character from The Ballad of Gay Tony. Just like many characters who made cameos, they ended up dying, and so did Rocco, by the hand of Michael. In the Cayo Perico compound, we can see a couple more Red Dead Redemption Easter eggs. In particular, these two images. The first is a photo of the Valentine Church from Red Dead, and also the Banjo Mutant. The Dignity super yacht is extremely similar, almost directly copied from the boat that's in the beginning mission of Max Payne 3. Now that's definitely an interesting way to reuse assets. In Los Santos, there's a company called Escalera. This is a rent-a-car business, and this is an Easter egg from Red Dead Redemption, where there's a town with the same name. To be clear, right, the town name's not Rent-A-Car, it's Escalera. In the agency deal contract for your auto shops, in the finale of the mission inside the IAA facility, behind one of the locked doors, you can actually see one of Avon's Juggernaut clones. Little did we know, but at the time this was actually foreshadowing the upcoming Criminal Enterprises DLC that came out in 2022. If you go to Suburban as Michael, similar to the Tommy Vercetti Easter egg, you can buy a shirt that's very similar to one Max Payne wears. During the story mission, Daddy's Little Girl, the guy you rent the bike from at the bike rental place on Vespucci Beach is actually wearing a John Marston t-shirt. All of the older and more run-down vehicles around the map, of course you can just see the outside is a lot more aged, rusty, dirty, might even have bird poop on it, but upon closer inspection, if you hop inside and go in first person, all of the interior is completely aged as well. We've got torn car seats, dirt, and scratches. You can also notice that when the door is open, the interior light will turn on in a lot of cars as well. Rockstar introduced HSW vehicles to GTA Online that are faster than any cars we've had before. To reflect how insanely fast these vehicles are, the needle on the RPM meter goes off the gauge and completely past the limit. On the Vapid Rattel truck, the custom top exit exhausts will open and close when you rev the car. If you look closely, Michael holds the micro SMG different to Franklin and Trevor and even our online characters. Just like in real life, NPCs who have parked their cars on the side of the street or in a parking lot often haven't parked straight or correctly. You've probably heard that weapons like the tactical SMG are the best guns to use while you're driving a car. The reason for that is they're one-handed weapons so you can shoot them while you're driving, but one of the best weapons to use is actually the SMG Mark II with FMJ rounds. This one's heavily slept on and heavily underrated. You can shoot it while driving, and because of the FMJ rounds, it's gonna penetrate through those bulletproof windows of people chasing you very, very easily. So I recommend giving this one a go. There's a lot of ways to fast travel in GTA Online, but one that a lot of players don't use is the assistance helicopter. So I'm either reminding you about this or telling you about it for the first time. If you call your assistant, request the helicopter, and then hop in the back, it will fast travel you back to your CEO office. In the mission, I Fought the Law, Michael and Trevor are dressed as police officers on motorcycles. They then throw their half-eaten donuts on the ground. Them doing this is a reference to Reuniting the Families, a mission from San Andreas, where during that mission, two cops on motorbikes drop their donuts on the ground and begin to chase CJ, Sweet, Ryder, and Big Smoke. You may own the JB700W in GTA Online, and this is a straight reference to James Bond. It's actually GTA's version of the modified Aston Martin DB5, And even the name itself is a clear reference. JB, of course, James Bond, and 700, if you flip that around, is 007. Of course, both of those references to James Bond. Let me know if you've seen this one before. Of course, GTA shares a lot of similarities with Breaking Bad, but maybe one of the coolest nods in the entire game is Trevor's watch. Trevor actually wears a calculator watch, which is a clear reference to Walter White in Breaking Bad, who pretty much has the exact same watch. Not only that, but the two are pretty similar characters. They both run a meth business, so it's cool to see this little reference. Down at Elysian Island, the main cargo ship there is called the Octopus. Now, if you've ever played GTA 4, this might look a little bit familiar, and that's because it's actually the exact same ship from GTA 4, except that one was called the Platypus. You can see them here side by side, pretty much the exact same layout, just some texture enhancements and whatnot. Part of me probably believes that Rockstar just did this to save time, but I'm gonna convince myself that this is a massive Easter egg. There's an interesting book in Franklin's bookshelf in its Vinewood Hills home. This book here is titled Red Dead, and it's written by Jay Marsden. People have speculated that this could actually be John Marsden's son, Jack, who stated in Red Dead that he might actually write a book himself one day. If you played GTA 5's story, you'd know that Michael DeSanta's real last name is Townley. DeSanta is the name that the FIB gave to Michael under, well, witness protection, and the surname DeSanta is a reference to Captain DeSanta, who is a major antagonist in Red Dead Redemption. You may have seen this one somewhere across social media. This is a very fun glitch to do, or I don't even know if you really want to classify this one as a glitch. It's just fun. So get a friend, and one of you needs to be in a vigilante. Then you want to park the vigilante so that the back of the vigilante is facing somewhere up, because basically we're going to launch someone really high into the air. Then your friend needs to be in a really light vehicle, whether that's like a motorbike or a really small car, and get them to try and go right behind the boost of the vigilante. Then of course just boost the vigilante and it's gonna send the person behind you absolutely skyrocketing into the air. I couldn't believe how long we got launched into the air here. It was a very, very long time. One of my favorite weapons in the entire game is the heavy revolver. It's insanely underrated. What you want to do is go and put the FMJ rounds on it. And I'm not joking, you can actually one-tap a lot of helicopters with this. In a lot of situations, this is better than a railgun. The bunker is one of the best businesses in the entire game to make money passively, but a lot of people are using it wrong. If you're a solo player, one full resupply will get you $210,000 of stock. That's when you should sell it. If you resupply the bunker again, having any more product means that you'll probably have 2 or more sell vehicles, which is going to make it very hard to sell this product in a public lobby and get that high demand bonus. If you're ever doing a mission where you need to find a specific person in a specific circle or something like that, drive a vehicle that has lock-on missiles, because normally that vehicle is going to lock on to that person whenever they enter your vehicle's line of sight, so it's going to make it a lot easier to find them. When you're in free roam, make sure you're making use of your MOC, Acid Lab, or Terabyte, because whenever you go inside one of these, you're going to instantly lose your wanted level. So if you're struggling to lose the cops and you can't call Lester or bribe the authorities for whatever reason, this is another optional way to do it. For the longest time, I used to struggle with vehicle cargo sell missions in my vehicle warehouse. Now, one of the safest ways to sell these cars is to use a cargo bot, but if you don't want to do that, instead, you can actually just park the car somewhere safe during the sell mission, and then 4 waves of enemies are going to spawn. Once you take out all 4 waves of enemies, no more enemies will spawn, and you can just get in and drive to the location. All of the clocks around the map are actually correct to the in-game time and move with the time. If you shoot a cop in the leg, if there's another cop nearby, there's a good chance they'll come over and try to drag them out of the fight. You can call almost all of the phone numbers you see around the map, so any number that's advertising something on a billboard or on the side of a vehicle, when you call that number, someone will either pick up or you'll go to a realistic voicemail.
We're not here. Call back later.
All of the products in Simeon's car dealership just have really funny names. Comment your favorite one below. Mine's definitely Tighten Your Nuts. That's a good one. Also in Simeon's, if you look at his business license on the wall, you can see that the license is hereby granted to Auto Repair Premises, a street in Los Santos, a zip code. The Hot Ring Hellfire has custom air brakes on the roof that try to slow the car down when you brake at a certain speed. At this point, we probably all know that GTA 5 has working sweat, but did you know just going outside in the middle of the day, as opposed to going out at night, if you just go out when it's hot, you can see that the character will have some sweat stains on their back, without even doing much physical activity. Despite several versions of the game not having ray tracing, GTA 5's shadows are still incredibly realistic. Just take a look at the difference in the shadows when it's sunny and clear versus when it's cloudy and overcast. Phones actually stop bullets. Payphone hits and security contracts are really good ways to make money with the agency, but I still see so many people doing this wrong. If you want to save time, you don't actually have to go back to the agency to start up a security contract. You can actually just call up Franklin on your phone and request one. The advantage of going to the agency is you get to pick exactly which one it is, but this way is definitely a lot quicker. Sometimes when you switch to Trevor, he'll be driving a Faggio following someone else in a scooter. He'll then yell out Scooter Brothers, which is a reference to a popular YouTube clip from GTA 4, where a YouTuber named Brad Simons did the same thing.
Scooter Brother! Where are we going today, Scooter Brother?
Driving up Loxley! We are Scooter Brothers! Scooter Brothers! We are brothers on scooters!
You probably know about Bigfoot in GTA 5. In GTA 5, there's 27 peyote plants. Eating any of them will turn you into a specific animal for however long you want. But after a player has collected all 27 peyote plants, completed the game 100%, and completed the final Strangers and Freaks mission named The Last One, only then does this hidden Easter egg become available. At this point, 7 different golden peyote plants will spawn around the map. But that's not all. These golden peyote plants will only spawn from 5:30 to 8 AM and only when the weather is foggy or snowing. But it gets crazier. A different plant will spawn on each in-game day. The player needs to collect these peyote plants in order from Sunday to Saturday. Once they've successfully done that, this time they'll spawn as Bigfoot and hear the growl of a beast off in the distance. The player then needs to follow that growl all the way across the map until eventually the player, Bigfoot, can encounter the beast and have a battle. If you ordered the collector's edition of GTA 5 when it first came out, you would have found this massive map inside. But this map was actually full of Easter eggs. It was a blacklight map. So when you were using a blacklight or a UV light, the map would actually reveal secret markings, map legends, secrets, and Easter eggs around the map. I don't know about you, but if this is what we got for GTA 5, I'll be pre-ordering the GTA 6 collector's edition day one. In the mission Predator, Michael uses a thermal sniper rifle to hunt down the O'Neill brothers in the woods. Now, one of the Easter eggs in this mission is if you look down to the bottom right, you'll see Bigfoot just standing there for a few seconds. That's a bit creepy. But what a lot of people didn't notice is this entire mission, even the name, is a massive Easter egg. Of course, the mission is called Predator, and in this mission, Michael basically acts as Predator. If you've seen the movie, you know this is exactly what Predator does. If you go to another main character's house and start shooting rockets at their house, you can get several different phone calls from them telling you to, well, stop doing that.
Stop shooting up my house!
Karen Daniels, Nico's first girlfriend in GTA 4, who ended up ratting him out, plays a part in a few missions in GTA 5 and GTA Online, first in the Three's Company story mission, as well as the Humane Labs raid in GTA Online. This character has changed identity several times, working for the IAA across multiple games.
Jacob, what are you doing here? This is no place for you, Michelle.
As it happens, it is. You see, Nico, I have been working for the government.
The character named Bernard, or as we more commonly know him in GTA Online, Agent ULP, is actually a returning character from GTA 4, where he ended up blackmailing Nico.
There.
Here he is.
I can see that. Thanks, Karen, but I'm fighting with them. And guess what? So are you.
There's a few missions in GTA Online where we need to use the Digiscanner. It's got a bit of a funky design, and that's because it's actually a reference to the Ghostbusters movie, and looks very, very similar to the PKE meter. In the mission, Mr. Phillips, Terry, and Clay, two bikers from Lost and the Damned in GTA 4, try to escape from Trevor, and unfortunately they didn't last too long. Speaking of Lost and Damned characters that didn't last too long, in the same mission, in the starting cutscene, Johnny Klebitz kinda got curb stomped by Trevor, and people were kind of upset about this considering he was a pretty big character in GTA 4's DLC. If you're like me, when you're in the nightclub trying to grind money, it's really annoying weaving in and out of all of the people that are on the dance floor. Well, you can actually remove every single person from your nightclub through the interaction menu, go into your nightclub management tab, and then set it to a private club. Don't worry, this won't affect your popularity of your nightclub at all. All it's gonna do is make it a lot easier to get around. A big mistake a lot of players make on PS5 and Xbox Series X is using an HSW car for your HSW time trials. Don't get me wrong, you can do it in a car, but by far the fastest vehicle and easiest vehicle to use for these time trials is the Hakuchu Drag. It's the only HSW bike in the game, and trust me, once you start using this bike, you are going to breeze through all of these time trials pretty much first go. Most players have probably just dismissed all of the MC Clubhouse contracts as a bad way to make money. But that's not actually true. There is one that pays pretty well and is very quick. So if you're doing MC contracts, make sure you do life and death bikes. It can be done completely solo, and it can be done in about 3 minutes if you get the right spawns. And $30,000 in about 3 to 5 minutes is really good. So don't waste your time with other MC contracts. Make sure you're doing life and death bikes. It's very easy. We're doing a fun invisible arms glitch. This one's very, very easy to do. Just go to any clothing store, go up to the front desk where the outfits are. Then you want to equip this outfit. So go to the Diamond Casino Heist, scroll down to Refuse Collectors, and you want to equip the pickup. Once you do that, now just go to Tops, go to Overcoat Blazers, and click No Top. And for whatever reason, this is just going to bug your outfit out and remove your arms completely. You can go and save this outfit in any property that you own. A lot of people are going to be very confused when they see you out in the lobby, and that's kind of the point. It's pretty funny. Next, we're going to be pulling a Franklin and breaking into Michael DeSanta's house. So this is a wall breach, very easy to do. Of course, you want to come over to Michael's house, which is here on the map. Now you want to take cover on the backyard door right here, just like this. Then you want to go to Online, go to Jobs, go to Rockstar Created Races. Once you're in the start screen for that race, just like this, just back out. And once you get put back in GTA Online, it should breach you right through that wall, and you can just roam around Michael's house and do whatever you want. Of course, you can just log into single player and do it, but doing it with your GTA Online character is kind of cool. Next, I'll show you how to lower any vehicle suspension without paying any money. This one's pretty crazy, so just get any car that you want to lower the suspension on, pull your gun out, and just shoot the center of the wheel hub. Don't actually shoot the tires. You're not trying to pop the tires. But as you can see here, if you just shoot the center of the wheel, the actual car is going to lower closer to the ground. Do this on all 4 wheels and you've basically slammed your car. It still works completely normal, it's just got way, way lower suspension. This one's a neat little wall breach down at the tattoo parlor at Vespucci Beach. So for this one, you're going to want a motorbike and you're going to want to come and wedge it right in the back of the tattoo parlor here, just like this. The next step, very difficult. Just hop off the vehicle. Yeah, no, that's it. It's very, very simple. Just hop off the vehicle right here and you'll be in the wall. It's a wall breach. No one will be able to get you here. Doesn't really serve too much of a purpose unless you wanted to, you know, start up some CEO work or something, but there you go. Did you know you can actually climb walls with a BMX bike? It's kind of insane, and it's very, very simple to do. So just ride up to a wall just like this, and then just spam the jump button. That's right, that's it. It's so simple. Like, it might take a little bit to get used to, but once you get the hang of it, yeah, you can just climb up walls. It's insane. Now I'll show you how you can get into the back of a mule truck. The easiest place to do this is going to be at this staircase here, just to the south of the casino. So you want to be in a mule. You might have to buy one. Then reverse it right up to this stairwell right here. Now just hop out, jump to the bottom, and then climb up the stairs. Once you get to this ladder here, the ladder should be directly below the mule. And once you climb up the ladder, it's just going to teleport you right into the back of the truck. If you break a window and walk over the broken glass on the floor, you can actually hear your character stepping on the glass. You know what else is hilarious? Launching yourself halfway across the map. So for this one, you're going to want a truck cab and a chernobog. The easiest place to do it is down on the beach here, right here where this little stunt ramp is, and park your chernobog just like this. Once the chernobog's parked there, the person who's in the chernobog needs to hop out of the chernobog and go into the back seat where they can control the gun. When you're in the back seat, aim the gun as high as you possibly can so that someone else can get the truck cab and use the ramp to sort of position the back of the truck cab right below where the gun is. Once it's lined up, if you just hop out of the chernobog, so the person in the chernobog hops out, that's going to drop the gun back to the normal position very, very quick. And because the truck cab is like wedged in there, it's just going to send it flying across the map. Now, I want to see how far you can launch your chernobog and your truck cab. Personally, we've got it like halfway across the city. But if you can get it further than that, tag me on Twitter at TGG on YT, of course, because I want to see some crazy clips. This next one will show you how to get invisible car parts for your monstrosity. So just take your monstrosity into LS Customs, and instead of just buying the car part, if you actually just scroll through them very, very quickly here, in fact, you want to swap between the stock option and another option. If you do that very quick, it actually won't change. This is pretty useful for the window panels because that can have an effect on what guns you can use in the actual car. So this is a little glitch that can help you get around that bug. Now, of course, with the Cluckenbell Farm Raid, Rockstar actually let us finally drive the train. But there's actually a way to just get inside the normal train normally. So all you want to do is just wait for the train to stop. The best place to do it is on the right side of the map here. And once it stops, just go up to a random carriage on the train and spam the get in button. Eventually, your character's quite literally just gonna hop inside the train and become the train. It's kind of crazy. I couldn't believe it the first time I found this one out a couple years ago, but definitely do this. Your friends are gonna be absolutely confused. Next, we have another launch glitch. For this one, you're gonna want a prison bus, and you're gonna want to take it right to this pizzeria here in Los Santos. If you line it up exactly like this and then jump on the front of the bus and try and jump on top of the bus, it's just going to send you flying into the air. This is just one of those things that I feel you do when you're just bored in GTA Online. You're like, I need something to do to waste some time, and this is the perfect thing to do. Next is an infinite boost glitch for your Toreador. So what you want to do is go over to the LS car meet here with your Toreador, park it right out front, then I want you to drive inside the LS car meet, but as you do it, activate the submarine mode. You'll know this has worked when you get inside the LS car meet there, and quite clearly, your Toreador is going to be in both normal mode and submarine mode at the same time. Then you can just drive back out and take this wherever you want. So if you take it to like a ramp or something like this where it'll launch you into the air, you can just boost quite literally forever. It's kind of insane. Boys and girls, I think we found the Oppressor Mark III. This next one is a Deluxo bridge glitch. You don't have to use the Deluxo, you can use any flying vehicle, but I just find this one easiest. So come over to this bridge here, and then all you want to do, quite literally, is just drive into the side of the bridge right here. Once you're in here, you've breached through the wall, you're just inside the bridge. You have become the bridge. Congratulations. Now we're going to break inside the Vanilla Unicorn. So the first thing you want to do is get a car, bring it out here out front of the vanilla unicorn, just like this. Aim at this wall, align yourself up perfectly, and then jump. Then you want to walk right across the edge of this sort of building here. I don't know what to describe it. Basically, just copy what I do in the video here, jump down over here, and then switch to first person mode. And there you go. You're a bartender. You're behind the bar. You officially work at the vanilla unicorn. So grab a car, drive into the back sort of security parking lot area here, and you want to drive your vehicle right down this set of stairs and wedge it at this sort of angle right here up against the wall. Then you want to run and jump and try and get your character to ragdoll right between the car and the wall. It may take a few goes, but once your character stands up, you'll be inside the police station here, which of course is a place you can get to in missions, but not normally a place you can get to in free roam. Now we've got a dodo launch glitch. This one's pretty simple, but can be pretty fun to do with a friend. So of course, get a dodo plane, and one of you needs to be in the driver's seat so that the plane is actually running. Then you want to join the same MC club and make sure that friendly fire is off, because one of you is going to jump out and then run and jump into the front propeller of the plane. Now, sometimes this is just going to do nothing, but every once in a while, if you get it just at the right angle, you're going to go flying. In the Yellow Jack Inn, there's actually a framed photo of Trevor. But what's interesting is the plane he's flying in has the registration plate LS5680. Now, also in this image, people have speculated that Trevor is in a beta version of the GTA 5's Grand Sonora Desert, and the plane he's flying with this license plate can actually be found in the Thompson scrapyard. This next one kind of breaks the GTA canon a little bit, because in Stab City, there's a wrecked pickup truck that actually has a real-life California license plate on it. Of course, San Andreas is meant to be GTA's version of California, so this is kinda cool, but also doesn't really make too much sense. If you dial the number 948-555-0100, once you call it, you'll hear a dial-up modem sound. Now, this is the same number for ZIT in GTA 4, but it's not only that number, the same thing will happen if you enter any of the cheat codes from GTA 4. During the setup for the jewelry store heist in single player, Lester mentions an Eastern European man who was making moves back in Liberty City. This is a definitive reference to Nico, the protagonist of GTA 4, and it also suggests that he either retired or died, seeing as Lester says he went quiet.
There was an Eastern European guy making moves in Liberty City, but he went quiet.
We've spoke about changing which target your homing launcher is locking onto, but you can also do this with any aircraft that has homing missiles. While you're flying, if you don't want to lock onto the target that you're locking onto, just press L1 or R1 and it'll change target. On Xbox, that's LB or RB, and PC, that's page up or page down. Similar to the Daddy's Back voice line by Michael, he'll also occasionally say, "Honey, I'm home."
Honey, I'm home.
Now, obviously, this is a common phrase, but this is the exact same line that Max Payne used during a cutscene where he entered his home realizing that it was attacked. And what's funny is Michael has the same thing happen to him in the mission Meltdown.
Honey, I'm home.
One of the in-game TV commercials for Up and Atom Burger is set in the year 1950. This footage actually reuses images from LA Noire, which of course is another Rockstar game. In the final short trip mission called OG Kush, Lamar reveals to Franklin his custom weed-branded car. This is a reference to the 1978 movie Up in Smoke, which has a somewhat similar looking van that is also made entirely out of fiberweed. Also in your vehicle warehouse, make sure you hold 10 low range and 10 medium range vehicles. That way, the only other vehicles that the game is going to let you source will be high-end vehicles. So make sure you get 10 of those and then never ever sell them. Only sell the high-end vehicles, and then you can just continue sourcing them after you sell them. Elysian Fields Freeway is a reference to the Elysian Fields Development Company from LA Noire. The mothership livery for the Surfer Custom is the exact same one used in the Truth's Camper in San Andreas. This one's pretty awesome. A lot of the time, Rockstar does these sort of nods. The liveries aren't exactly the same, but no, this one is exactly the same. There's an NPC that can spawn outside the vanilla unicorn wearing a jersey that says Hopkins on the back, referencing the main character in Bully, Jimmy Hopkins. The headlights on your car work just like they do in real life. Here's what I mean. You may or may not know that the headlights on your car aren't equal in strength or distance. In fact, the driver's side light will always be a bit weaker and won't go as far, and the reason for that is so that it doesn't blind oncoming traffic. In America, the driver is on the left side of the car, and as a result, in GTA 5, the left headlight doesn't shine as far as the right. There's a cafe in Vinewood called Cafe Redemption. This is most likely an Easter egg to Red Dead Redemption, of course. Over in Strawberry, there's a lot of graffiti. One of them, this one here, looks like a silhouette of John Marston. Another cool nod to Red Dead. At the mask store, you can buy a pig mask, which is very, very close to Pigsy from Manhunt. Rockstar really thought of Easter eggs absolutely everywhere. In your arcade, there's a minigame called Nazar Speaks. Madame Nazar is a character from Red Dead Redemption 2. There's also a hidden Easter egg where you can get a phone number that you dial that lets you speak to Madame Nazar, which of course is terrifying considering she has been dead for a very long time.
You were looking for me? Yes. The future is open to me.
In the Grand Sonora Desert at the satellite relay station, if the player goes there at 10 AM in-game, they'll find a group of scientists just standing outside, with no FIB agents anywhere in sight. But if you go way back to the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 versions of GTA 5 and do the exact same thing, you'll find the exact same scientists, but this time with some armed FIB agents. This was a small detail that had no explanation up until really this past year. See, it was believed that this was actually a teaser for an upcoming GTA 5 story DLC way back in 2013. As we found out on Christmas Day when the GTA 5 source code leaked in 2023, this was planned to be part of the Agent Trevor DLC that got cancelled. The Agent Trevor DLC was mostly reused and repurposed and turned into the Doomsday Heist DLC for GTA Online, which would make complete sense considering that at the end of the Act 1 data breaches heist in GTA Online, this is the main location where the finale takes place. One of the best changes Rockstar made to the hangars was introducing an entirely new set of land sell missions. So you should be selling all of your hangar stock through these land sell missions. But the tip I'm going to give you is when you're doing it with friends, it's going to spawn multiple vehicles. But this is actually a little bit misleading because you don't need to complete all of those deliveries with all of the different vehicles. You can actually just blow up all of the other vehicles except for one and complete all of the sales using just that one vehicle. That way, instead of your friends driving around the map trying to do these missions as well, they can just protect you in an armored vehicle. This is one of those ones that most of us probably should know, but I'm sure a lot of us don't. If you hop in an ambulance, it's going to give you full health. On the other hand, if you hop in a riot van from the police, this is going to give you max armor. So if you ever see one of these vehicles lying around in one of your missions, jump in them for a second and then hop out. In your high-end apartments, you can actually preview the modifications before you buy them. So instead of buying any different styles before you actually get the apartment, jump inside the apartment, go into your interaction menu, and then preview all of them while you're walking around the apartment. This is going to save you a lot of money so you don't end up buying one that you don't actually like once you get inside, so make sure you're doing this. There's a marking on the side of the train that says LS 2004, or in other words, Los Santos 2004, which is the year that GTA San Andreas was released. As you enter the Yellow Jack Inn, on the left of the entrance there's a coat. This jacket is very, very similar to Nico's first brown jacket. On the right side of the Del Perro Pier, there's a piece of graffiti that says "Nothing to see here, groove along," with a little smiley face next to it, which is a throwback to a reference to a similar sign in GTA 3. The San Andreas Flight School was established in 2004, which is another throwback to San Andreas' release year. That's pretty neat. In a radio ad for Pride Not Prejudice, the announcer references a couple of really popular first-person shooters that were kind of at their peak around the time GTA 5 came out. The announcer says some shooters are set in hell, referencing the Doom series, and others are set in post-apocalyptic wastelands, which is referencing Fallout.
Coming for the Exorbio 720 gaming system. Some video games are set in hell, others in post-apocalyptic wastelands.
Sticking with Fallout for a moment, at the Procopio truck stop there's a rocket next to it, which is a reference to the rocket souvenir from Fallout New Vegas. You can tell not just because it looks like it, but if you actually walk up next to it, you'll hear a Geiger counter, which is a pretty clear reference to Fallout because a Geiger counter tracks radiation. When you're flying any aircraft at night, don't sleep on night vision. I know a lot of us just don't use night vision, but for taking out any targets or other players, if you're trying to fight other players, this is almost a must-have. So if you haven't already, get yourself some night vision goggles and start having fun. Anyone who played GTA Online back in 2013, we know about this, but a lot of newer players don't. And that's how to correctly get paid for contact missions. Rockstar codes their games in a very strange way, but for whatever reason, the longer you stay in a contact mission before you complete it, the more money you're gonna get. So normally you want to spend about 15 minutes in a contact mission before you complete it, because if you complete it before that, you're not gonna get the full payout. I know it doesn't make any sense, but this is just how the game works. If you're struggling with the original heists, this might help you out. In the Humane Labs raid finale, as soon as you leave your apartment, blow yourself up and then just restart from the latest checkpoint. That's going to teleport you all the way across the map to the Valkyrie, and it's going to save you from driving all the way up top of the map. You can actually turn most of your Pegasus vehicles into personal vehicles by taking them into your hangar or your Avenger workshop. This is something that I didn't know about for the longest time, kind of embarrassed to admit that, but start using it. Some outfits in the game actually give you passive abilities. For example, the one I use most often is racing suits, because racing suits actually do reduce the amount of damage you take when you're jumping off a bike, just like you would expect it would in real life. One of the most underrated tips for sourcing cargo with your CEO warehouse crates: the new auto shop or underwater lupe missions, they're so annoying. Especially those underwater ones, they take a really long time. So one way to avoid this is always source cargo through your terabyte instead of your CEO office. Don't know why, but for whatever reason, it doesn't give you those missions when you do it from here. Speaking of CEO crates, you're probably using these wrong. These things take a really long time to stock. You should be taking advantage of the technicians in your warehouse, but that's not the tip I want to give you. The tip I want to give you is never ever sell these until it's a double money week. For me personally, I let all of my warehouses sit fully stocked, just waiting until we get a double money cargo week. Normally we get about 3 or 4 of these a year, and if you've got full crate warehouses, you're gonna make over $30 million for selling all of them. So definitely wait until they're on double money. There's a random event in GTA Online where players can rescue Patrick McReary from the police. If you choose to do so, Packy will say that Liberty City was easier to rob. That's because Packy is a character from GTA 4 who is part of Nico's crew. After you rescue him, you can actually use him in the Diamond Casino heist, and Packy is also in single player where he mentions that Nico is most likely dead, but he doesn't know that for a fact.
Packy McReary from the fine borough of Dukes in God's own Liberty City. I came to LS seeking fame and fortune, and I found boredom and idiots.
There's a homeless guy in Vespucci Beach that holds up a sign saying, "Serbian bad guys stole all my money," which could be another reference to Nico. In downtown Vinewood, we can see this writing on the wall. This is where the Bearing the Truth mission starts in single player, so this writing is most likely linked to the Epsilon program, but there's actually a reference to another game in here as well, and that's at the bottom where it says the fruit tree is a lie. This is a reference to the Portal series, where a popular catchphrase in that game is the cake is a lie, and it's also got another hidden meaning in here with Adam and Eve with the fruit tree, and the Epsilon program completely disregard that entire creation theory, so kind of a double Easter egg here. It's pretty neat. Along the water in Vespucci Beach, you'll often see a few beach towels that say "I Heart Vice City." Behind the counter in the Yellow Jack Inn, you can see several $69 bills hanging on the wall here. The image on these bills is the famous cover girl for GTA San Andreas. The bills also say 10/12/2004, 6 p.m. which is 14 days before GTA San Andreas released. Strange. In Textile City, there's a wholesale and retail store called Broker, which is a reference to the borough of Broker in Liberty City from GTA 4. You can tell by the skyline on top of the logo. Over in downtown Los Santos, there's a store over here called Supersonic, the ultra-fast ring specialist. Now, anyone who's played Sonic the Hedgehog would see this pretty clear reference here. That's pretty cool. Going back to the mission, did somebody say yoga? Jimmy says that his dealer, Aaron Ward, is the friendly neighborhood drug dealer. Of course, this is a reference to Spider-Man, where he's commonly called your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
There he is, the friendly neighborhood drug dealer.
You probably forgot about the most powerful weapon in the game, because you probably didn't know what it was. And the answer, well, it's actually the flak cannon on the AA trailer. This thing is absolutely insane. It will destroy the most armored vehicles in the entire game in just a few shots. Not joking, try it out for yourself if you need to. You will need to unlock the flak cannon through research in your bunker, but trust me, definitely worth it. This thing is very fun. Next time you get an invite on your phone in-game, instead of going into your phone and accepting it, just hold up on the D-pad. This is going to automatically accept the invite and put you straight into that lobby. Rockstar made it possible for you to buy clothes and a haircut for Michael that makes him look almost exactly like the default attire of Tommy Vercetti. During the mission Derailed, one of the requirements to get the gold medal is to land on the train on your first jump. The title for this challenge is called Better Than CJ, of course a reference back to San Andreas in the mission Wrong Side of the Tracks. In the in-game movies, two of the movies, Coppola Voro and Meltdown, make use of very popular locations from GTA 4, like the heart of Liberty City. One of the possible heist outfits, the green boiler suit with the hockey mask, this is a reference to the movie Heat. What's interesting though is this movie was previously referenced in a similar way on the heist mission planned at the Malibu Club in GTA Vice City. One of the best Easter eggs in all of GTA 5, during the mission Hood Safari, right as you enter Grove Street, there's a chance that you'll see 3 people driving BMXs down Grove Street away from the cul-de-sac. If you get a close look at these guys, they're dressed the exact same as CJ, Sweet, and Big Smoke, and this is a very clear reference to the Sweet and Kendall mission in GTA San Andreas.
You just a liability, CJ. Why you bother coming back? Straight back into the game, right, dog?
In the mission Dead Man Walking, over on the board here we can see 2 names in particular that stick out. One is Dexter Fisher, the other is Morgan Price. This is actually a double Easter egg. The first one is linking to the show Dexter, where the main character's name is Dexter Morgan, and the second Easter egg is Fisher Price. Fisher Price is a major American toy manufacturer. Kind of a random crossover there, but kinda cool. In the Polito score heist, 2 of the sheriffs in this mission have the name Grimes and Kirkman. These are both references to The Walking Dead. Grimes, of course, a clear reference to Rick Grimes, and Kirkman is a nod to Robert Kirkman, who was the author of the comic books.